Hello everybody, my name is Zach, aka The Weather Gamer, bringing you APA Indigo League Season 2 draft recap for the now Chicago Charizards. We're rocking the Chicago Charizards for this season instead of the Bearticks, because I wanted to get the Charizards out there again. So we're going to kick off with the draft. This was a 24-man draft. It was insane. I've never done anything more than 16. Well, actually, I guess the DSL was 24. The DSL was 24, but I didn't remember how that went. Like, I had no idea what a 24... I couldn't remember what a 24-man was going into, because, honestly, the DSL was just like a rush. I drafted Rain, and that's it. I wasn't looking at everything that could go with things. So, this is kind of where we're going to end off with. We were pick, I want to say 14. I don't remember off the top of my head. Let me just pull up the server actually, and I can see unmute or unhide muted channels because I hid the draft after it was over. Draft order is where? I was 14th, yeah. Hide muted channels. There we go. And yeah, if anyone from APA is watching, that... Okay, no, that didn't pick up my mouse. Cool. If anyone from APA is watching, I do mute a lot of channels just because I have so much, like, there are channels in my own server that are muted just because there's so much chat and notifications and everything that I just can't catch up. So most of the time I mute anything that doesn't pertain particular to me in a server. So that's why I don't see everything in APA. But like the draft, I don't need the draft server anymore, or the draft chat. So I just mute it so I don't get notifications if someone posts in there, that sort of thing. Anyways, so we were 14th in the draft out of 24. Snake draft, so 14th going one way, 10th coming the other way. So as we're drafting, I'm thinking, what am I going to do this time? By the way, if anyone didn't notice, we have a new layout. This layout, I'm showing off now because this will actually be the first video that goes up with pertaining to League stuff with this. Yeah, this is my new layout. This is the Battle League layout, courtesy of Griffin. Check out his links in the description down below, his Twitter. Go show him some love for me. He put this together so fast. I was so amazed. But this is going to be the one you're going to see now in all my Draft League videos. This is our new layout. Not the Charizard, not like here. Let me just turn you off and turn you off. There you go. There's the layout. So that's the beautiful layout that Griffin made me. I love it. I gave him total creative control, and he blew my mind away again. Alright, so we need that logo back on. Oh, and I did program my Stream Deck now. I am getting more knowledgeable on things, so these videos should run a little better. I have buttons on my Stream Deck where I can just turn each label on and off. I don't have to go and sort. So we have the labels, we'll have spots for the teams, we'll have spots for the logos, like, let's see here. There's the Bearticks logo for when we're playing as the Bearticks. There's our Zards right there. So we've got that. More professional. The radar layout is still here. But this layout's going to be for like playthroughs. Playthroughs of Pokemon. I like it better. I've been wanting to change. I just needed to save up the money to get to where I could have this battle one. So we've got it. So back to actually what this video is supposed to be and talking about the draft analysis, 24-man thing. So I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, okay, what do I want? Like, what do I really, really want? What do I want to use this season? And I'm this draft is finished. WWC has not finished yet at the time of recording this video. I think we're in the last round. But I really, really, really wanted to try something different. I know in the recap video I said I wanted to do Alolan Ninetales again. I love Alolan Ninetales. I still do. But the more I thought about it, the more it was like, okay, every league I've been in, I've used Alolan Ninetales. That's true. Maybe it's time to put Alolan Ninetales back in the box. That said, you guys are not done seeing Alolan Ninetales because PCF has it. So we'll still have Alolan Ninetales for a little bit, but I did not draft Alolan Ninetales in APA. I decided I was going to let someone else do it. So I started thinking, what do I want to do? I could try a Sand team. I've never run Sand. I could try a Sun team. I've never tried Sun. I could go back and play a modified Rain team now that I know how Rain is supposed to run. I didn't do that, but when I was thinking about Sun team, something kind of jumped at me. It's probably my favorite Mon in all of It is my favorite Mon in all of Pokemon. We lead off with the mascot pick, Mega Charizard. Mega Charizard is actually the Mega MVP from Season 1. So I will gladly take that. I am so excited. I have wanted to draft Mega Charizard X in so many leagues. I wanted to do it in PCF. I wanted to do it last season in WWC. I wanted to... Well, no, not last season in WWC because I was running Rain for that. But FWL, I wanted to run Megazard X, but I chose Victini instead. I've always wanted to use this Mon in competitive, and I finally have it. I finally took it. I took it 14th. I know that is incredibly early to take something like that, especially with some of the other stuff that was sitting on the board. I'm just gonna go here and pull up the doc for APA. I probably should have done that beforehand and all that, but I know it was incredibly rich. I think Deoxys Speed was still on the board. I don't know, there was a lot on the board still, and I went ahead and jumped on this. Tapu Bulu literally got the pick ahead of this, and I was planning to grab Tapu Bulu at some point because I've been reading up, and Bulu and Zard, yes, Zard's EQs get nerfed, but Bulu and Zard are a good combo because they let me sponge the rock hits and water hits that Zard does not like. Megazard, I'm so happy to get this thing, like, legit. Finally I get to use this, and I hope I can do it proud just like Mid used it last season, where it was the Mega Champ, so I'm looking forward to that. Speaking of which, my next Mon I took coming back on the wheel, Rotom Wash. So, again, I need to take a break here real quick and thank somebody. So, my first and foremost plan was to run Megazard and then build around Megazard. That's how this draft, that's how this team was supposed to go, is it's Megazard and we figure out the pieces that go around it. I'm terrible at drafting. I've proven that time and time again. So I want to thank Panther, who runs the APA server, and Indigo. John, aka Scotty, another mod or admin in the Indigo. Mid, who had Charizard X last year. And Olga Bina, who was the highest record coach last year. The four of them were helping me draft. I'd bounce ideas off of them. I'm like, hey, I want this. Hey, I want that. Hey, what about this? What about that? What about XYZ? And so they helped me get my draft put together and just really helped me do this. And so Panther was actually the one that suggested this, because Rotom Wash is a bulky water. It's immune to Earthquake outside of Mold Breaker Mons because of Levitate, so Charizard doesn't get hit with the EQ. It takes on rock types, which Charizard does not appreciate and handle very well. outside of EQ. And Charizard takes care of the grass types that want to abuse Rotom. So it works both ways. Rotom also gives me a defogger, so I can get rid of rocks because Charizard takes 50% damage pre-Mega to rocks. And then post-Mega, Charizard is susceptible to T-Spikes and Spikes. So it's really good to have a defogger to clear and get rid of the hazards. And I'm just like, I'm pushing back right now to when I started talking to Panther. So Panther said, with Megazord X you need removal, something to break rock types, and bulky waters. Rotom fits the bill. It's a bulky water, it breaks rock types, and it has removal. He also suggested Starmie. Mew was taken. Starmie was kind of the backup, but we got to my pick. I was able to take Rotom Wash, and I'm incredibly happy. I would have loved to have had Bronzong, because Bronzong gives me a rapid spinner, so I don't have to get rid of my hazards. But Rotom Wash does just great. And then we talked about Bulu, which would give me a fairy type too. We talked about Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn got picked. I'm going into round 3 now. So Ferrothorn gets picked. Funnily enough, we actually talked about Alolan Ninetales. So, yeah, into the draft, we get to round 3, and I'll show my round 3 pick here. Scissor. So when I lost Ferrothorn and I lost Bulu, I was talking to Panther. Oh, I think Harry helped me too. Admin Harry. I think he was the other one. He helped me too. He messaged me, or somebody messaged me and said, take Scissor. Scissor pairs well with Megazord X, Rotom Wash, because now I have a U-turn Volt Switch core, and those two Scissors another hazard remover. Scissors a steel type to help with rock, that sort of thing. Scissor alone is a monster with Technician Bullet, Choice Banded Bullet Punches, that sort of thing. And it gives me a start to my, or gives me the second piece of my Fairy Steel Dragon core. And so, then after we took this, Ninetales is still sitting on the board at this point, and we're getting close to we made this pick and Ninetales was still on the board, and so we were talking like, okay, well, how do we fill out the Fairy Steel Dragon core? And I was like, well, you know, Alolan Ninetales is still sitting here. We're almost to round 4. Nobody's taken it. I know I said I wasn't going to take it, but maybe I should take Alolan Ninetales. Maybe, just maybe I should take Alolan Ninetales. He's like, and so, Panther's like, yeah, grab that. That'd make a good combo. And so I was going to grab it. I grabbed Scissor first because we both agreed Scissor was probably going to come off the board before Ninetales. And literally the pick after me was Alolan Ninetales. So no Alolan Ninetales. Oh, we also, before I picked Scissor, because I was still looking in T1s because nothing was really standing out to me. Before I picked Scissor, we were talking about Jirachi. We were going to grab Jirachi, and then Jirachi literally, I think, went 2 or 3 picks ahead of me. So that's when we jumped back into Scissor. Yeah, because I was talking about not having anything. I talked about not having anything in Tier 1 that I really wanted that I thought fit well with Zard, because Tier 1 got decimated really early. So we grabbed Scissor. So like I said, Scissor, another hazard remover, U-turner, Rotom Wash, Volt Switch type of thing. So then we get to my pick in round 4. Greninja. How this thing, I know it's Torrent only, and it's Tier 2 Torrent, but how that thing made it back down the board to me, I will never know. I grabbed Greninja in a heartbeat. Greninja is another one of these mons that I've wanted to try so much. I love it. I really do. It's a very powerful mon, very cool mon. And I just realized that I left a space over here for the camera, and I'm not even sitting over there anymore. Like, my camera's over here. Hi. And I left space like I'm draft streaming for my camera to sit in there, because when I draft stream, my camera just sits on the slides. So there's a big old wasted empty space up there. Can move the Charizard logo up there, and yeah, okay, whatever. Back to this. So anyways, I got Greninja. So now I'm getting some speed tiers. I got something that's slow and Scissor at 65. I've got Charizard at 100. I've got Rotom Wash at 86. Now I got Greninja at 122. So I've got some speed. I'm not at blazing speed yet. Like, I don't have a Jolteon, I don't have a XYZ type of thing. But I got Greninja. And Greninja's really cool because I can stack spikes. I can stack T-spikes. Problem is I have 2 defoggers, so I'm going to lose those. But if I don't have to defog hazards off my side, Charizard will go to town with hazards on that side, breaking focus sashes and that. Greninja hits like a truck. It's super, super fast. It can run physical and special. It is my Z, one of my 2 Z captains. So I can just go to town with Z moves. It's got great coverage at Grass Knot to check things that might water absorb me. Dark Pulse, Gunk Shot. It's a very, it can U-turn itself. So another turner to get Charizard out onto the field or go into a defogger if need be before Charizard can hit the floor. Just having Greninja really, really excites me, and I'm looking forward to using it. Then we get into talks about what to do next. And this is where I kind of really got sniped pretty bad. I'm trying to look here. Let's see. Okay, I actually made a Poke Paste here, so I was pulling it up. I'm pulling it up right now. So I had Megazord, I had Scissor, I had Rotom Wash, and Greninja. So my next pick was going to be Mimikyu, because I figured, okay, here's Mimikyu is the Fairy type, gives me Ghost, gives me Fairy, can set up and be just as much of a setup problem as Zard. I think that's really loud music, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm peeking. Turn the music down. There we go. I was thinking Mimikyu would be a because it was still sitting on the board. Mimikyu would be perfect. It'd be beautiful. And then later I'd pick up like Umbreon, and I wanted Gliscor, but Gliscor went like round 2. I'd pick up Umbreon to give myself or pick up Umbreon on the next wheel to give myself a Wish Passer, because Mega Charizard X really needs a Wish support mon, because then it can click Flare Blitz and just kill and kill and kill, come out, Umbreon comes in, Wish back into Charizard and heal and set back up and kill, kill, kill type of thing. So that was going to be my next set of picks, my 5 and 6. Mimikyu goes, I believe, 4 picks before me, 5 picks before me. And then I was like, well, crap, what do I do for Fairy? There's Slurpuff, there's Aromatisse, there's Gardevoir, there's a whole bunch of fairies that I wanted, and so I was like, Lele, I could go Lele, because Lele is allowed, it just doesn't have its terrain. So I was juggling a whole bunch of fairies, and Jolt mentioned to me that I should grab either Slurp or Gardevoir, so because Gardevoir can Wish Pass. And I was like, Well, I don't need to grab Gardevoir. I'm grabbing Umbreon. It should be around next round. I'll grab Umbreon. There's my Wish Passer. Yada, yada, yada. We'll get Slurp here 2 rounds from now, because Slurp's not going to come off the board. That sort of thing. We're in round... Or I'll get... I'll get Slurp 2 rounds from now. It's not off the board. I don't have a rocker right now. Let's get something that can set rocks. So I grabbed Azelf. I was like, okay, we've got Azelf. Base 115 speed. This is now filling in that speed gap between Charizard and Greninja a little better. Azelf can set rocks. It can be a suicide lead with Focus Sash rocks and then explode. It can be super, super nasty. I saw someone use Azelf as offensive Azelf. It was leading kills in a league. I think that was FWL, that Azelf was leading the league in kills at one point, just because it was such an offensive mon. It's got great utility. It's another Levitate user, so another Earthquake immunity to help Zard out as well. And so we were like, okay, we're good. And literally the next pick, thank you Lego My Ego for doing this, because Lego My Ego sniped, he picked after me, and he sniped out Alola Ninetales plan. And then the very next pick, he takes Umbreon. And so I felt pretty terrible after Umbreon fell. I really felt bad, because, like, damn it, I didn't take Gardevoir, because I was going to grab Umbreon. That's why I took Azelf. I could have grabbed Umbreon or Gardevoir instead, had Psychic and Fairy locked up, instead of having it locked into 2 Mons, and I can recover from Gardevoir. Or recover from losing Umbreon. And that would have filled my Fairy roll. And so Umbreon goes down. I'm like, crap, what do I do? And so I come back around and I grab Slurpuff, because I did not want to miss out on a Fairy type, on a decent Fairy type. Slurpuff I've used in the past. I believe it was WWC I used Slurpuff. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was WWC. Yeah, because I faced Torn and Aegislash with it. Yeah, so I grabbed Slurpuff. Slurpuff is a great mon. It can Wish Pass. It's not as good as Umbreon is as a Wish Passer, but it can Wish Pass. So I'll probably have to use this to Wish Pass at some point. Sticky Webs. So now I can set T-Spikes, I can set Spikes, I can set Stealth Rocks, I can set Sticky Webs. Sticky Webs plus Megazard X is really good, because then I don't necessarily have to D-Dance in order to outspeed things. Or I don't have to double dance, I can single dance to outspeed and then just blow things back. Slurpuff is also my Z Captain, so I have Greninja and Slurpuff for Z Captains. I did it mainly because of Z Belly Drum, but Play Rough Twinkle Tackle, All Out Pummeling, Drain Punch works. It does get, it's not great special attacker, but it does have some special moves like Flamethrower and I can't remember the others off the top of my head. So it does have a decent move pool. I can use different Z crystals, but the main reason was so I had access to Z Belly Drum, which heals you to full and then cuts your HP. And then the Unburden boost. So Slurpuff can be a sweeper for me as well. After this, we started talking, Panther and I started talking about what I needed next. And I was looking at, well, I don't have a fighting type, which would be really nice to have because I can break. Now my music's too soft. I need to adjust my music levels. I don't have a fighting type, which would be really nice to break down rock types. I don't have a grass type. I was planning to get Gligar later in the draft. I was planning to get Rhyperior later in the draft. That would give me 2 electric immunities, plus 2 more rockers, another defogger. I was talking about Mienshao for I was talking about Mienshao for fighting type, My next pick was going to be Gligar, and Gligar came off the board, and so then I kind of went into a panic, and I was like, what am I going to do? And Panther's like, well, you have EQ blocked pretty well. You have Rotom and Azelf. They both block your EQs. Okay. Don't stress about it. So he's like, well, let's turn our attention to grass types now, because I don't have a grass, and I need a grass to deal with bulky water, because Rotom is not enough to deal with bulky water. So we started talking. Zarina would have been great, but Zarina got drafted super early. I can't afford another Tier 2 Mon. I could take another Tier 2, and then I'd have to drop down to Tier 5 for my last pick. So I could have taken, like, Celebi, but I don't like Celebi. Celebi's just a gross Mon. So then we were like, yada, yada, yada. So we grabbed Shaman, actually. We took Shaman out of Tier 3. Shaman can bust through those bulky water types. It can also be a stupidly annoying Mon with, like, a sub-Leech Seed Toxic set. Does have access to Healing Wish, so it can suicide kill itself to get Charizard back up to full. It's got options. There's plenty of things that it can do. It can be offensive. It can be defensive Shaman. It's base 100s across the board, so it's right there with Charizard for speed. So it can do what it needs to do. It's good utility Mon for me. Makes up for my kind of lack of Wish support there a little bit. And helps break down those bulky water types that Charizard cannot break down very easily. So then the next pick was going to be Rhyperior after this. And Rhyperior goes down. And again, I panic. I was going to get Jolteon. Jolteon goes down. So I was going to have Jolteon to cover for Rotom Wash, to have the electric type attacking ability, and also to absorb the electric hits, because right now my team didn't have an electric immunity. I don't have a ground type. And both Gligar and Rhyperior, the two Mons I was getting to check that, are gone. Plus having Rhyperior and Gligar together would have forced HP Ice or HP Grass to come. And not necessarily have my opponent have an answer for that. So anyways, we're talking and Rhyperior goes down. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Let's just grab something. My speed tiers are a little messy at this point. Like, I only have Azelf, Greninja above 100. That's it. Mienshao luckily made it down to me. And so I grabbed Mienshao in a heartbeat. This gives me a fake out priority user. It can be a regen Mon. It can be a Life Orb Reckless. It can be Choice Banded. It can be Scarfed. It can do a lot. Mienshao just does a crap ton. I am not running HJK on this thing. I will not high jump kick with it. No way in hell am I high jump kicking with it. Yeah, I refuse to HJK with this thing because I'm not going to take the 50% crash damage when somebody runs Protect because they know I have Mienshao. Base 105 speed is very good. It hits like a truck. The 105 gives me a nice... again, filling in now between Azelf and Charizard. I've got bat speed filled out a little bit better. That's the one thing I really focused on too in this draft, was checking my speed tiers, because that's something I have never done before. I don't understand speed tiers very well, and I'm very grateful to all of the APA coaches and admins and that for bearing with me for not knowing that. And they kind of taught me a little bit, like, this is what you should get, this is what you need. Like, you need a couple Mons over 120, couple Mons over 110, couple Mons around the 100 to 110, couple Mons in the 80 to 90, couple Mons in the 60 to 70, and then you need something stupidly slow to prevent yourself from getting Trick Room killed, which was what Rhyperior was going to do for me, but Rhyperior went bye-bye. So I don't have that stupidly slow Mon right now. Anyways, at this point, I didn't know what to do with my draft. I had to go to work. I didn't have time to look at the doc. And so I told Panther, because he was holding my picks for me, I was like, Panther, please draft for me. I don't know what to do. Right now, the only thing that stands out to me is Arrow. Arrow and Rhyhorn. Those are about the only two Mons that I can think of right now that I want. And if they go, I don't want to get skipped. I don't want to lose my timer thing. I just help, please. I beg you, help me. Help me fix this team the rest of the way. And gratefully, Panther drafted 2 Mons for me while I was gone at work, and I picked up my last one. He did get me Arrow. Arrow was actually sitting in T4 for this league, and I was kind of impressed by that. It is base 130 speed. This is my high-end speed that I was looking for, that I was missing. So now I have something really, really fast. I don't have low-end speed is the only problem. Trick Room can still abuse me, but Arrow is actually a steal in T4 in my opinion. This thing is fast. It hits super hard. You can run Scarf. You can run Banded. It's another Stealth Rock Setter. It's another Defogger. I do not have a Rapid Spinner. I have a lot of Defoggers. So I can set hazards for days, but if I gotta get rid of my hazards to help myself, then so be it. Hazards may not be a thing for me this season that much, but great coverage. Fire Fang, Ice Fang, Thunder Fang, Crunch, Earthquake, Rock, and Flying Stab. Has Outrage. I think it has Outrage if I remember correctly. Do you have Outrage? Arrow, I'm pulling up Arrow right now. That Rock hit ability, so it doesn't take recoil. Pressure ability on Nerve. Trying to see here what has Aqua Tail. Sorry about that. Has Dragon Claw. Do you get Outrage? I don't think. Maybe you do. It does have Iron Head. Does not get Outrage. It was Dragon Claw. Was what I was thinking. Has Recovery in the form of Roost. Just, it's a very good Mon. Whirlwind to phase out, set up sweepers, that sort of thing. So I think getting Arrow in Tier 4 nonetheless was an amazing, amazing steal for me. Because it's basically a free Tier 3 Mon in my mind. And it's super fast. Then, the next Mon that Panther grabbed me, because I wanted Stun Tank, that's where I got derailed. That's where my whole, like the last 3 picks were primarily focused on drafting Stun Tank. And when Stun Tank fell off the board, I didn't know what to do because Stun Tank, I don't have a poison type. Stun Tank was there to absorb T-Spikes. It was another Defogger to get me more removal. It was a Dark type because outside of Greninja, I didn't have a Dark type. And if Greninja had a poor matchup, I could get set up on by Psychic types and started Powered to death. Stun Tank had access to Sucker Punch, which would be really nice as well. But I lost it. We got Arrow. And then Panther drafts me, if it'll function, Garbodor. Alrighty. Garbodor, you got me trash. Are you trying to tell me that I'm trash, Panther? Because I already knew that. I already knew I was trash. But anyways, get Garbodor. I don't know what Garbodor does. To be perfectly honest, I have no idea, and I'm going to have to learn what it does. I'm actually looking it up right now. Sorry for the yawning, guys. I don't know why. I just got super tired out of nowhere. Garbodor, there you are. I know it can set spikes and T-spikes, I'm pretty sure. Has Aftermath, so if I get hit by a physical move, my opponent takes that weak armor to... I think that boosts speed, lowers defense. Yeah, lowers defense, raises speed 2 stages. It can set spikes, it can set toxic spikes, it can recover with painful or pain split. It's decently bulky. I'm just reading through Smogon right now. Loses 25% with Aftermath. Basically, it's early game to lay up hazards. Yeah, so it's basically there to set up hazards for me, as well as potentially being offensive. It can go boom as well. Just explode, that sort of thing. So then we got back to the last pick in... Yeah, was it the last pick in this one? Yeah, last pick, and I came back. I was home in time for the last pick. Wasn't sure what I was going to do as far as the last mon. It was either Rhyhorn or... Not Rhyhorn. It was either Rhydon or Golurk were the two options that I was considering. Panther told me he was going to draft Golurk. I was going to think about it. I didn't have a Ghost type on my team, and I kind of wanted Ghost Stab, but at the same time I also really wanted to use Rhyperior. And Rhydon is just as good as Rhyperior, minus the Solid Rock ability when you give it an Eviolite. Plus it has Lightning Rod. Granted, Golurk takes Lightning Bolt hits anyways. Oh crap, why am I so tired? So I kind of went back and forth. It got to my pick and went with Panther. Panther has not steered me wrong in the draft yet. So I was like, well, we'll listen to Panther. We'll try Golurk. If Rhydon doesn't get drafted, we can always consider going back to Rhydon a couple weeks from now. We'll give Golurk a chance. But that's our team. We started with Megazard and ended with the big giant Guardian statue and Golurk. Well, I won't say this is the best team I've ever had. Not even close, I don't think. But it's something for me to try. Slurpuff is the only Mon returning that I've used in League before. Otherwise, this is 10 new Mons for me. I've never used Greninja, Arrow, Shaman, Rotom. I had Rotom Wash for all of a week in GPC before it fell apart. I actually never got to use it. Same with Scissor. I've never used Azelf. I've never used X. Like, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what this team can do. It's going to force me to learn some new options, learn some new Mons, and learn some new techniques. That's where we're going to be for now. So this video should have gone up on Sunday, I believe. Today should be Sunday if I scheduled things correctly. So tomorrow you'll see week 1 of season 2, Indigo Team Builder. That'll be coming to you here. And then we will kick off the battle on Tuesday. Just a side note, I did record the battle earlier today. Like, I'm doing things out of order again. APA Indigo is trying to catch up with APA Season 13, and so they've shortened our season slightly. We have to play matches faster than a week at a time right now to catch up. So that means we are accelerating. So I actually played my week 1 match today. Won't spoil that. I'm recording the team builder next. that will also have this new layout. But the match was recorded before the layout. Like, I played my week 1 match and then thought, you know, I really could use a layout for this. I was kind of getting tired of the radar layout for that because I couldn't put up the Mons, I couldn't put up logos, I was this, that, and that. So I messaged Griffin almost immediately after the match. I was like, Griffin, can you make me a new layout? And within like 3 hours, he had a layout to me. This wonderful, beautiful thing. So that match will be on the radar, but after that match, we will be using this layout. You'll see it in WWC. You'll see it in PCF going forward. We are using this layout. It will be with the Mons. I'll be taking the Mons off as they die. You won't see the Mons in Showdown anymore because I'm going to adjust that and get that fixed. But yeah, here we go. Ready to kick off the season. Hopefully we pick up a win with our first week in APA Indigo. I have never won the first 2 weeks of a season in any league that I've ever been in. I always lose. That's not true. I won my very first ever league match in DSL. DSL is a randomized league. I don't count it. First ever league that in leagues that things weren't randomly assigned to me. Things that I actually had to build for. I have never won. And if I lose again in APA week 1, I'm just gonna lose it. I'm gonna go insane because why do I keep losing week 1 type of deal? But yeah, hopefully we pick that up. Check out the team builder tomorrow, and then check out the match on Tuesday, and check out the links in the description down below. You'll find my Discord if you want to hang out with me outside of these videos. You'll find my Twitter if you want to follow me on Twitter. You don't have to, I don't care. You'll find my Twitch. Guys, help me get to 50 followers on Twitch so I can get to the affiliate program here sooner than later. That's one of those end-of-year goals. Check that video out, my update video that I'm back. If you haven't seen that, check that out. And then please, please go show Griffin some love from the Weather Gamer family. Please, please go show him some love. The dude's amazing. He pumped out this layout in 3 hours for me. I dropped it on him. I'm like, hey, I need a logo, or need a layout. Can you make one? Yeah, sure. Griff's amazing. Please go show him some love. So with that, I've taken up 45 minutes of your time almost. I'm going to get out of here because I'm going to just keep rambling otherwise. See you guys later.